3 big fat lies that every tech coordinator that I have ever known tells. I've told them, you have probably told some of them, and so we are going to blow the lid off of them to start this session today. Do you know, if you know who both of these guys are, put your hand up. Both of them. All right, just a few hands went up. Those of you who put your hands up, you've got permission not to listen for about the next 30 seconds or so while I explain who these guys are. This one, probably most of you knew. This is Norm Abram. He is the host of the New Yankee Workshop in this old house on PBS. Norm also owns every power tool that's ever been invented. And I don't know where he stores them because his workshop is about half the size of this room. And so, but he uses so many, a couple of them I've actually seen him use twice. But he's got every power tool that's ever been invented. This guy is Roy Underhill. He is the host of the Woodwright's Shop, also on PBS. He uses no power tools at all in anything he makes. He has about 6 tools in his entire shop, and one of them is a harmonica. And so everything that he makes everything with hand tools. And so I have a big important question for you. One of those 2 guys made this hutch. Do you care who made it? Not a bit. Why don't we care who made it? Because it's not about the tools, it's about the end product. When you buy a drill, there's this old axiom in marketing. When you buy a drill, it's not because you wanted a drill. It's because you wanted to put a hole in something. And so when we look at EdTech, we've got to look at it from that perspective. You're not buying a device. You're buying a capability. You're buying a function. And so that's what we need to remember when we start looking at EdTech. There's a problem, though. We've got all of these golems running around in our schools that are either scared to death of the technology or that want every new shiny thing that comes out. And so we play this game to try to placate both sides of this. We tell 3 lies. The first one that we tell is that we're going to do this because it's going to make things easier. How many of you told that one before? We're going to get this because it's going to make things easier for us. Yeah, okay. The second one is that we're going to get this because this is going to help us do things faster. Anybody told that one before too? Yeah, guilty on that one. All right. And the third one says this is going to help us be more efficient. And that's just a real fancy way of saying quicker and easier at the same time. And so we tell both of these, or all 3 of these lies, in order to try to get buy-in from people on our EdTech ideas. But this isn't IT. IT talks a lot about doing things quicker, doing things easier, doing things more efficiently. This is EdTech. And we've got another factor that we really have to consider first in here. The most important factor in EdTech is the word that finishes this little tribond. Yell it out when you got it. I've only got 5 minutes left. Engagement. I heard it. That is the primary factor that we really have to look at. I love this quote from this book by Brooks and Brooks on the case for constructivist classrooms. Relevance emerges from the learner. In other words, quit trying to create relevance and find the relevance that's already there. It walked in the door with the kids. And that's what we have to find. You cannot, I am recording this, sorry Mom. You cannot bolt relevance onto a lesson that sucked to begin with. All right, so we have to start looking for relevance within the learners we already have. Education is not about fire hosing information into the clown's head. I come from Ohio. In Ohio, we have this thing called the 3rd grade reading guarantee, and I have a son who is entering 3rd grade this coming year. Do I want him to be able to read at a 3rd grade level by the end of 3rd grade? Sure. More importantly, I would rather he have like a 3rd grade learning guarantee, that by the end of 3rd grade, he's going to have a passion for learning that is going to last him a lifetime. That's much more important to me than where he scores on some test. It's more about lighting a fire in kids that's going to last them a lifetime. The real promise of anything that you've seen here at the conference, like blended learning, Maker Ed, anything like that, project-based learning, it's not that the teacher gets to quit teaching. It's that the teacher's role shifts from being kind of a content guardian of information to being a coach and a guide and a facilitator of the real hard work of developing the learning process. We break the rules for tons of reasons. And even though you may not think you're a rule breaker, you probably are, because nobody I know plays Monopoly by the printed rules. Nobody. But we change the rules for lots of reasons. Sometimes it makes the game go shorter. Sometimes it makes the game take longer. Sometimes it makes the game louder. Sometimes it makes the game quieter. Sometimes it makes the game more fair. Sometimes the rules that we change actually make the game less fair for some people. But anytime we change a rule and we keep it, we did it for one important reason. It made the game more fun. Now, we really don't like to say we're having more fun in education. It sounds like we're just playing. So that's why we use that word, engagement. The system should be in place to support the students, not our students there to support our system. So when there's a disconnect, it's really the system that needs to change before we start digging in and trying to find ways to, quote, fix the kid. Take a look at that staircase. That's a great staircase. That's a very well-built staircase. It's probably built exactly according to the designer's specifications. It is also perfectly useless for the lady at the bottom of the stairs. When our lessons don't work for a kid who has a particular barrier, it's our lesson that's broken, not the kid. When you plant lettuce, if it doesn't grow well, you do not blame the lettuce. It might need more fertilizer, more water, less sun. You look for reasons that it's not doing well, but you never just blame the lettuce for not growing well. Folks, every day you have a chance to be the reason somebody has an awesome day. Never let those opportunities go by. Thank you.
All right, and I did have somebody ask me if these slides will be on the ISTE website.